Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So once again, we're focusing on Mando Season 3 as we approach Wednesday. We have a new TV spot with some awesome details, but first of all, Jon Favreau just gave the most important interview for The Mandalorian Season 3. He revealed so much. First of all, Season 4, which he's already written, is not going to be the last, and this show is part of a larger story that's going to play out over the years. We might be getting 5, 6, 7 or more seasons of the show, many more spin-offs, and almost certainly some movies. But he debunked the idea that we're near the end, which is really good news. He also addressed Grogu being both Mandalorian and Jedi, saying he's very much like Tar Vista, but he wouldn't reveal what's in Grogu's future. That is something the third season is going to address. Now speaking about Season 3, he said, quote, "There's lots of questions that have to be answered, and hopefully it all comes together in this season as they return to Mandalore, and we figure out how this Mandalorian culture evolves past this critical point in their history." He also teases that just like in Season 2 with Ahsoka and Luke, there are some more internet-breaking moments in the third season. In other Mandalorian news, before we talk about the footage, Pedro Pascal has described the casting of Christopher Lloyd, who plays an old Mandalorian, quote, "iconic, smart, and interesting." And so now my dear friends, let's break down this footage. It opens with a shot of Djarin with the voiceover of Carson Teva that we heard in the final trailer. He warns there is something dangerous going on out there, and we assume this continues on from the siege, Palpatine's contingency, Moff Gideon, and what the Imperial Remnant is up to. Last week when I spoke with Paul Sun-Hyung Lee, he couldn't reveal much, but he seemed to affirm my suggestions that this is in reference to the Snoke clones, or whatever you want to call them. I just use that term colloquially. So next up we see some Niktos, a Trandoshan, and Quarren in a mixed species pirate gang that have threatened Greef Karga on Navarro. Inside Greef's office, where we know the armor is also going to appear, Mando shoots a Quarren, all the while holding Grogu, a multitasking space dad. Then an adorable shot of the baby himself. Just look how cute his face is. We get this awesome still of Mandos fleeing the scene of an explosion, again probably on Navarro, using their jetpacks. Bear in mind a lot of this footage is from the first episode. Greef Karga in his outstanding red robes bids Grogu and Mando a farewell before they get into the N1 starfighter. Grogu waves him goodbye, and in the background we see a new protocol droid, a golden one reminiscent of 3PO, but as I say, this is a different and new one. And so now guys, this is the shot I really want to talk about. The most interesting still by a country mile, Mando's approaching an Earth-like planet. Some have theorized this is Navarro, or Takodana, or Sorgan from Season 1, but I've done a bit of analysis on the intricacies of the surface. I'm pretty certain this is Naboo, which is extremely exciting if true. My theory is that Din needs parts for his starfighter that Pelimoto simply doesn't have on Tatooine, so he's sent to Naboo, which could tie into the Aftermath trilogy and what's going on there. Post-Empire, not only is Jar Jar Binks a shamed street performer after the public found out he was to blame for the rise of Palpatine, but it's also a hotspot for the Imperial Remnant, given they know and revere the fact that it was Palpatine's homeworld. They're using it probably for cloning. I made a separate video about this, so I'm not going to drag it out, but we're past the point of Operation Cinder, which thanks to Lando and Nien Nunb, the rebel heroes of the destruction of the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi, did not destroy the planet. But still, there is secret Imperial activity during this time. Unsuspecting Naboo was pivotal for the rise of the First Order later in the timeline, and I wonder if Din and Grogu are going to run into things they weren't supposed to see. Also, as I put forward in my Jar Jar Binks video, and yes that's a real thing, it'd be hilarious to see Jar Jar and Grogu interact. I think that'd be awesome. I might be getting ahead of myself just a little bit, and this might be a new planet altogether, but to me, this looks like Naboo, and I like that theory considering the ship Din is using. We know there are going to be a few surprises in Season 3, and I really hope a return to Naboo in live action is one of them. We know the planet might also feature in Andor Season 2, with filming due to take place ahead of a castle in Kent, used in The Phantom Menace, and in Spain, which is also a filming location used for Attack of the Clones. For us prequel fans, this would be a dream come true. I'm loving these teasers and TV spots, and now my dear friends, another tidbit for Mando. Speaking to TV Line, Cobb Vanth actor Timothy Olyphant was asked if he's going to be returning. They say to recap, the Freetown sheriff was felled by blaster fire from Cad Bane during the Book of Boba Fett, and last was seen healing in a Bacta tank with a mods artist ready to do some work. Timothy Olyphant, alas, wasn't spilling on the gunslinger's fate when we spoke to him this week. In his own words he said, "You guys know the world better than I do, and you know that even if I knew anything, I wouldn't say shit. The NDAs are very, very strict, so even if he is in Season 3 and fingers crossed he is on Tatooine, he would never spill the beans. He's got to keep it coy." Ever since the Aftermath books, I've loved this character. He was awesome in Mando as well. And now he's going to be RoboCobb, modded out, badass, and given what happened during his encounter with Cad Bane, he's ready to defend Tatooine at all costs. I think if Boba Fett goes off-world, Cobb Vanth would make an awesome leader as backup. Not to mention the mod gang could be a security. I really think those guys were underrated. I know they look like they should be on Coruscant, not on Tatooine, but I do believe fans really harshly judge them. I think given a Book of Boba Fett second season, which might happen, with better writing and better use, they could be really fun. As I've said before, the Book of Boba Fett had so much potential. In spite of my criticisms, there is so much I love about it, so fingers crossed. And speaking of a possible appearance by Cobb Vanth, you can't forget Tanti. I suspect he's going to step up to a bigger role following the Battle of Mos Espa. And so now, my dear Mandalorians, some awesome news for Star Wars Celebration here in London. 3 more incredible guests. Willow himself, Warwick Davis, who also had multiple roles in Star Wars across the saga. His daughter Annabelle, who was also in the most recent Willow series, but also was in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. She also featured in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, but the latter has nothing to do with Star Wars or Lucasfilm. And finally, my absolute favourite, Denise Gough, Dedra Meero herself. I really hope we have something for Andor Season 2, some kind of announcement, maybe more stars for the show, and we do know, in Season 2, Dedra gets promoted and wears black ISB gear. A few months ago, Denise Gough teased a new outfit, super exciting stuff. She was phenomenal in the series, and I'm so glad Tony Gilroy spotted that talent, because in case you don't remember, she almost quit acting. She almost called it quits. Thank the maker she didn't. She is one of the best parts of the Andor show, perfect as the stern-faced, ice-cold agent, Dedra Meero. I just can't get enough of her.
I can't breathe.
And so finally guys, just as they've been doing for Season 1, The Mandalorian Season 2 is being adapted into a Marvel comic series. Now look, I would love to focus on the actual content of this, but Grogu on this cover art is bloody terrifying. It was pretty funny to see the reaction to this on social media. A lot of fans picked up on this. The comics for the first season were really good, but Season 2 is going to be epic. I can't wait to see Chapter 9 The Marshal in comic form. We also have the final schedule for Season 3, and as you'd expect, there are no double episodes. 8 weeks, starting in 5 days' time on March the 1st and finishing on April 19th. There is going to be so much to talk about, and fingers crossed we also have an end credit scene, maybe even teasing the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Wouldn't that be a blast? But share your thoughts in the comments down below of everything we spoke about in this news update. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and why not check out our Patreon page? The link is down there in the description. There are nearly 200 videos not found here on YouTube. You also get access to our Discord server, your name at the end of my videos, and so much more. But until the next one guys, may the Force be with you always.